I robot to roadblocks. My whole crew rep L block. Trey 5-7 knock all tops. She blew up the whole spot. She blew up the whole spot. Stun on us, I think not. We number one, we don't flop. We number one, we can't stop. We show love to no dots. We show love to no dots. No in dots. The villa, listen to Mike Jack. Thinking I'm thriller, feeling like 03. Nigga, I'm killer.
Hey man, we live, we lit, we in a place to be. You chilling with your boy, LEV, K.T, man. Let's turn up. So, as we about to close on this NBA 2K20 season, I thought what better than to release like a playbook for a successful 2K21 release. It's so important that the release is successful, and I got, some keys to doing that. Let's get started. So you can see, I got a PowerPoint presentation, man. So all of you big content creators, man, I ask that you guys try to get this in the hand of the 2K20 devs, etc. So we got here the keys for successful 2K20 release. So in order to do that, we need to discuss 2K21. So the release for 2K21 underwhelmed, causing a fire around the 2K saga, forcing many users back to 2K19. Now, with that being said, the release for 2K20 was absolutely horrible. I know the servers weren't where they needed to be. I remember buying VC and then not showing up till like the next day. It was absolutely ridiculous. Kept getting kicked from parks. You'll join a park and they'll end up loading another player that you created. Like it was bad, man. But with that being said, though, I think 2K20 is gonna go down as a lot of people say it's trash, but I don't think it was trash. I think the way I will remember 2K20 is that the different builds, man. You've seen so many different builds. It's like every season, whether you play, stage, you play park, you play rec, you play pro-am or competitive pro-am like the WR League or the TPO League, everybody was using different builds. Like the meta at one point was the BP build. Before that, it was the playmaker shot creator. And then the two-way slash and playmaker, and I'm speaking on point guards, but it was so many different builds that people were calling the meta, and you had, like, I don't know, I feel like this game should be remembered as that, where I know the small forwards kind of took a hit this year. You couldn't make the point forward, but, we ended up figuring it out at the end of the year. But I think this game should be remembered for that it was a lot of different builds. It was a lot of different center builds, the glass clean and lock, the interior defender, the paint beast, the 6'9" paint beast went crazy, bro. If you knew how to shoot with that 47 or 49-3, whatever you had, you could green a lot from the corner. You were fast as hell. It was close to a Giannis build. So I think that this game will be remembered for the terrible release, for a lot of people calling it trash, a lot of people going back to 2K19. But if you look at the overall body of the game, the builds, we were able to make a lot of different builds, bro. And I had a build for the park. I had a build that I used whenever we played Rex, and I had a build that I used whenever we played comp. Like, I don't know, it's crazy to think that how many different builds that you've seen. And I was saying different, even now I'm still seeing builds that I haven't even seen yet. So that's crazy, man. So shout out to 2K for being able to be creative with the build system. Let's go to the next slide. Servers. If you want a great 2K21 release 2K, the servers, make sure they are ready day one. They have to be ready day one. They haven't been ready day one since 2K16. And 2K16 just so happened to be my favorite 2K. I'm not going to get into that, but the servers have to be ready. Please understand when I say this. Make sure that the being able to buy virtual currency is up and running. Make sure people are able to join their friends in the neighborhood. and make sure they're able to join with the right archetype that they're selecting to join. Even the joining process, like, it shouldn't take as long to join the neighborhood as it does take. Like, it's gotten better since 2K17, but the servers have to be ready day one. I don't know what's the process for even testing them for the new game. I don't know what that's like, but I just know 2K17 horrible for the release. 18 was horrible. 19 wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And then 20 was, we all know about 20. Park affiliations. This has been a big topic as of late, and I think that we in the 2K community, as content creators and the devs, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of topics, but I think I may have a fair conversation for both sides. So for park affiliations, you don't have to have separate parks to have park affiliations. I think that's the biggest misconception. So boom, let's say this. Let's say instead of, because I believe we're getting another neighborhood. I believe it's going to be maybe, a different style of a neighborhood, but it will be a neighborhood. But why not turn the park affiliations, why not make it an event, like a weekly event for, like, let's say the first 3 or 4 months of the year, where you can utilize the different events that you make. Like maybe one time the Sunset Beach Ballers, if you're still going with these names that we had in 2K16 and 2K17. River City hosted it one time, Old Town Flyers hosted it one time. That way you can still have that neighborhood style, but still have the park affiliations, or something that we're going into a later slide, like the Daily Spin building. It's the biggest waste of a building that 2K has. Like I said, I will jump into that more later. I have an idea for that, and I'll touch on it a little bit now. Turning that into a stand instead of a building. Like when we go and get our boost, it's a stand. Why can't the Daily Spin just be a stand? Utilize that building for something else, and park affiliations could be one of them. And I got another idea later on that you guys will see in the slide. Full whites. Alright, so I've been seeing that this is a popular conversation as of late, and I think we need to focus less on full whites and focus more on the contest system. Every release that a player in the NBA shoots isn't a perfect release, but sometimes they just had to shoot a touch and then the ball happens to go in. I think we need to focus more on the contest system, and the contest system based on wingspan, based on your badges, and if they can come up with sort of like an algorithm to figure that shit out. Like if you shooting let's say a very early or a very late, you shouldn't be making a lot of those shots. If contested at all, and I'm talking about 5% contest, you shouldn't be making those shots at all. But if you're open and you make a full white, I mean, hell, you grind it for your badges. That should play a part in it. I'm not saying you should always make full whites. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if you have a contest better than 15%, you shouldn't be making no full whites. Like, that should be the penalty. So all I'm saying is the contest system should pretty much be what we're focusing on. Like, same thing with layups. I see so many very early layups that are highly contested going in. Very late layups, highly contested going in. I'm not saying that if you're open and you very early, very late, and you make it, okay, I'm cool with that. But if it's contested, anything over 15-20%, and it's very early or very late layup, it shouldn't be going in, man. Like, we can create the skill gap utilizing the contest system. Let's focus less on full whites. That's all I'm trying to say. Alrighty, updates of virtual currency. So I think virtual currency has been an issue with most people since 2K17. I know in 2K16 you were able to get your player to 85 at $20. That is not happening now. We pay $50 just to get our players to 20 to get our player to 85 overall, and I think it was even an 86 overall back then. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. But I've come up with a compromise, man. I'm Mr. Compromise. That's what I do. I'm a deal maker, man. So 2K, think about this and think about it heavily. Like, really weigh this. So keep all the same VC packages you got as you see. The $199, $499. This is all in USD. $999, $1999, $49.99, and $99.99. Cool. Add 2 different packages. So 2 new additions to the virtual currency packages. The first one costs $100 USD and includes 200 KVC versus the 450. But you get 1/4 of your player badges unlocked per category. Plus, as an added bonus, 50 skill boosts and 50 Gatorade, and all 3 of them. Why not have a package like that? You have content creators who day one have to decide whether they're going to content create or grind their player. I mean, because you don't want to have a 85-year-old player in a park or on stage and you ain't barely got no badges. This is a great way to kind of teeter that. All right, so the second one costs about $150. It includes 200 KVC again. Half of your players' badges unlocked per category, 100 skill boosts, and with that package, just get somebody gym rat, or let the badge progression for gym rat almost be unlocked. Like, this is a win-win. Like, and when I say half of your badges, I don't mean you got 40 total badges that you can unlock and you can pick them. I mean per category. So let's say you got 10 across the board with shooting, with finishing, with playmaking, and with defense, and so you will unlock 5 for each one of those. It will make the grind less of a burden. You can actually grind playing park, playing stage, playing rec center, or playing pro-am, whatever you play. You can grind the rest of your badges doing that. So I feel like it's a fair compensation. It wouldn't take much to do it, and you guys offered all types of packages like that, because I have 2 accounts for NBA 2K, for all my gaming period. So I remember one account I wouldn't play on, and I get like a special offer type, something like that. So it wouldn't be difficult to do that. Just add 2 new packages where it's less of a grind. Content creators can do what they do best, and it's putting your game on the map. ISO takeover. So right now the takeovers we have the sharpshooting takeover, we have the shot creating takeover, we have the playmaking takeover, and then we have the lock defender / paint defender takeover. I think we need one more takeover. Now you can do this one or 2 ways. You can either do it as a takeover or a badge. I would prefer a takeover. Here's why. Chris Paul is a playmaker. Steve Nash was a playmaker. Their takeover should be playmaker. While they can score, they can take over games, their ability to create space, get to the cup, and make plays for other people exceeds their ability to score. I feel like shot creators on this game can score, they can dribble, but I feel like the ISO takeover would be even better. You got players like Kyrie Irving, players like James Harden, players like Damian Lillard. They are ISO players, man. They are players where you can just get in a 5 out. This is real life. D'Antoni, Steve Nash, you get the comparison. Where you can get in 5 out, and they just do them, and you kind of watch, you sit, if you're a shooter, you get ready for the shot. But we need an ISO takeover. It would definitely be beneficial for park or beneficial for stage or even comp pro-am to see a person with an ISO takeover go against a lock. That would be a beautiful thing to watch, especially like Joe Knows. I mean, hell, I watched his pro-am footage and see what he was doing to locks was ridiculous, man. But imagine if he had like an ISO takeover. A lot of people say locks were overpowered this year. They can still shoot. This is how you combat it. An ISO takeover. I'm telling you, it will go crazy. And I touched on this a little bit earlier, turning the daily spin into a stand versus a building. That building is underutilized. As I was saying with the park affiliations, use it's a whole building. Use it. If you want to use it for that, I have another idea as well. The other idea is like, and I don't know how 2K will word this or play it, but if you think about on Twitch specifically, some of the streamers who kind of garner the highest views are people who do wagers. We're talking about Ticino, we're talking about Danelle TV, we're talking about Annoying, we're talking about Aiden, we're talking about Brownie. Wagers are a big part of this community. So why not turn this building into like I said, for events you can do affiliations, or like a high stakes ante up, like, or something where you have to have a logo in order to be able to play in there. And as viewers, we can come and spectate the games, like, by going in there, but we can't take up the spots enough, you know, stuff like that. And they have the hardest time trying to get these spots just to play a 7-game series. They may have to play 10 games just to do it. And, you know, that's crazy. Utilize this daily spin building. It's pointless to have. Turn it into a stand. You walk over, you spend what you need to spend, and keep it moving. Like, it's no sense in just having a whole building and not utilizing it. So in conclusion, like I said, I think 2K20 will be remembered for being a trash game by a lot of people. I don't see it that way. I think if you take emotion out of it, the release was bad. I'm not taking up for that damn release. The release of that game was bad. It wasn't ready. But I think in a grand scheme of things, being able to make these different type of players, I made over 15 players last year, bro, and I had a fun time making them. You know, getting all their badges and all of that, and kind of seeing how the different styles. Like, it's like 2 or 3 ways to make a BP. For example, this 2K21 release has to be spectacular. To be completely transparent with y'all, I'm a little worried about it because I know that we get that September 4th, and then 2.5 months later it's the next gen release, and I don't expect that to be great. It's gonna look great, but any type of time you get a next gen release, it's not gonna be where it needs to be for like 2 or 3 years. So if you follow these steps, you have a successful 2K21 release. As I always say, pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody you normally wouldn't do. Peace and love. Peace and blessings. I'm out.